love this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American flags. American flags. American flags. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American.
Thank you guys for tuning in. The Patriots prayer is here on the final day of the Turning Point action event. It was sold to us as a kind of a creator event, and there was, I guess, a lot that happened. I just put out a tweet on my X page about the overall experience that I've had here. I know that Eddie and I have both met a lot of people, and it seems like a success overall. So I think it was a good experience. And Detroit, in the small part that I've seen, it's actually really nice here. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to because I grew up out in the woods in a tiny town. So it's quite a bit different being in the big city and talking to all these big names, and I guess it's just a different experience, but very good overall. So what were your overall impressions of this event, Eddie?
It's a mixed batch, right? So bittersweet. Some of the things that we were looking forward to, getting in, being able to get FaceTime with the president, like we were told we were going to be able to do. Somebody got inside security yesterday with something they shouldn't have, and they shut it down where we couldn't get in. The people who were in couldn't get out. It was a whole thing, and then we couldn't even go sit in the VIP section where we were supposed to be because the Secret Service shut that down. So there were a few things that, got in the way of. We're influencers, guys, right? We like to be the ones making the show and putting it out. What they did here, I'll tell you both sides. So this is the bad part first. I'll give you the cons. They didn't allow us the ability to be content creators, right? We weren't able to get access to as many people as we would have liked. Now, don't get me wrong. We still made a lot of connections. A lot of cool things happened. Matter of fact, on this very deck last night, I was out here with Bryson Gray and Michaela, who are our other hosts. We were out here till like 2 a.m. We had a great time. Met a lot of really influential people. Osaka was the guy we just met inside. We had breakfast with. He authored or helped get the First Step Act passed and lobbied for that. And a lot of my Blexit brothers and sisters were definitely in the house, and so I rocked this Blexit house all weekend. It was it was funny to see the looks that I was getting, but I let them know that it was okay because a black person said I could. So
I'll take on the creator event or the reception.
Yeah, and then I won't even get into that. I'll let you deal with that. But overall, though, lot of media people. Cartier family guys were awesome. We had a great time with you. They're big YouTube influencers, did a lot of reaction videos, and now turned very political.
Newer to X as well.
Very, very new to X. If you guys haven't already, please go look at some of the posts we did, pictures of them. Go follow. They're going to be great. We're going to have them on the show. They're going to have us on their show. So we're going to have these 1 million+ follower accounts doing reaction videos to what me and Maurice did. But I'll let Maurice tell you more about like the reception and some of that part of it. Here you go.
So I want to start off by saying that I am grateful for the opportunity and the experience in general, because we were invited as VIP guests by Turning Point USA, and it's been a good experience overall. I do have some critiques because I think it was sold to us a little bit differently than what we experienced. And this is, this is a message that I want to get out to Charlie Kirk and the people at Turning Point USA, and hopefully be able to help.
Constructive criticism, yes. Guys. Don't take this to heart.
Yeah,
because some of the Turning Point people did when I criticized it directly to them. They took it to heart.
Yeah, but if they're gonna host events for creators, and I know that events like this it's not about me, right? But since I was brought here as a VIP guest, we had a special reception just for the creators that were invited. And I guess my assumption and kind of what it was sold to us as is it was going to be exclusive access, behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
kind of things where we could create some content and get some exclusive footage and have access that's something to where the general admission wouldn't have access to. What it turned out to
Everything
be,
up to that we had.
yeah, what it turned out to be was more like we had free food and drinks, but there was nothing actually happening at that reception event. There was nobody from Turning Point USA.
None of the speakers.
None of the speakers. Nobody from Turning Point USA apart from the check-in. But I feel like everybody who was there was about 50 different people there, and we were all kind of just waiting for something to happen, which never did. There was no speaker. There was no access. It was just like, here's some free food and drinks.
We were one room away, though. They had this thing called the executive lounge, the executive pass. And so we had the VIP pass. We had our media badges, which you would think would count in our favor, but didn't, right?
Yeah. That was another thing is we got a media pass because obviously we run the Patriots Prayer and our own podcast. And we wanted to be able to have the authority to record and share things. But that kind of hindered us. We had a lot of blocked access where they're like, oh, you have a media pass, you can't go in there.
Yeah.
So it was definitely weird. And that creative reception where everybody was just kind of standing around, it definitely felt like a missed opportunity to where if you're going to invite a whole bunch of creators that are looking forward to connecting and spreading the message of Turning Point USA, I would advise next time to maybe have some kind of exclusive access or any kind of access that isn't the exact same as the general admission.
Actually, worse, they made us buy memberships to get into the rooms where they were interviewing the speakers. For instance, we had to buy a membership to be in the breakout rooms where Vivek was being interviewed. We met Vivek. You got a picture with him, right?
I did.
So he got a picture with him. I got to shake his hand and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, we had to buy a membership to Charlie Kirk's deal in order to get in that room. Well, we had media badges, VIP badges. And then they said, oh, you're media, you can't come in. So because we were media, we were actually, the first one, we were asked to leave.
Yep.
We were asked to leave the Kristi Noem interview. And that was the one that I really wanted to be with because the Native American cause is so close to both of our hearts. And she was talking about the reservation land and the cartels and this kind of thing. And during that portion of the interview, I was trying to get Maurice in the room with me. They just threw up roadblocks in front of us.
Yeah, they actually kicked us out because we applied for media passes, which is, to me, it seems really, really odd that they would invite creators and then kind of hinder us from creating.
Yeah.
So it definitely felt weird at times. But, like I said, overall, I'm extremely grateful for the experience. And I think that it went fairly well.
It went well. And I'll tell you what, the people, even the people that were working, the young ladies that were working the areas where those breakout rooms were, they handled the situations well. We know you guys were just following the rules. You were doing what you're supposed to do, and they were very polite about it. And later on, attitudes changed about it when we went back for the Vivek interview. So, we don't hold any grudges. Like I said, these are constructive criticism because we liked what it was. We just think it needs to be tweaked a little bit so that we're able to be influencers. We don't mind coming to watch a show or two, but we want to create a show or two. I love the way Clay Clark did the Reawaken tour because of that. We could walk right up to Mike Flynn. We could walk right up to whoever and have a talk. We walked. I spoke to so many people at his event. Ashley Babbitt's mother was there. I mean, I spoke to, I don't even know how many people.
Yeah, and I think that's the part where they really fell short was just having us be able to have access to the speakers. And I know that with security reasons like Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr., like the really big names that are out there, I understand why we didn't just get access to them.
Yeah,
I get that.
I would hope that you wouldn't make it that easy, but yes.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. But I mean, having any opportunity to, even like meet Charlie Kirk. Like I didn't get to meet Charlie Kirk at all, even though I was brought here. I was brought here as a special VIP guest, and it kind of feels weird not even being able to meet the guy running the event, which you were invited to. So,
but good for them though, because they had like 6 city blocks long of a line of people waiting to get in the general admission. So good for Charlie Kirk and those guys creating Turning Point USA and creating something so big that people are willing to stand in a line that long to come see what you've done. So I got nothing but respect for what, because I'm trying to build the same thing, right? We all are.
Yeah, the Patriots Prayer would like to host events similar to this, maybe not in a big city like this, but I would like to. I think one of my goals specifically is to be able to host an Independence Day patriotic powwow. I think that'd be phenomenal.
But let's talk about what we did do. So we went to a semi-private event where Trump was speaking. The Patriots Prayer had representation on stage with the president, who gave him a birthday present, and so we can say, our podcast was up there on stage with the president, for sure. And Michaela's awesome, man. Like I said, I've known her since she was a knobby-kneed little girl, and she's what a woman she's turned into. What an impressive human being that she's turned into. We met Bryson Gray, Osika Kaku, who helped with the First Step Act, Cartier Boys, man. But being at that 180 church and listening to, the people around us that were having private conversations that we were in earshot of, inner city folks from a predominantly black neighborhood in church saying, I'm so glad that this is happening, that someone's paying attention to it. And I overheard this. These weren't conversations that they were having with people because they wanted to be heard saying it. They were saying this amongst themselves. And so they were like, Trump is paying attention. Joe Biden wouldn't even come here or show up. So that was really impressive. And to hear the things that he said, and he said, well, I did more for the black community than for any president all the way back to Abraham Lincoln. And they applauded that in the inner city of Detroit. Yep. They applauded that because they didn't take it to heart, like take arms with it or nothing. They agreed with him. I just think it was a good event.
Yeah, and this wasn't actually hosted by TPUSA. It was actually a separate event entirely.
Yeah, separate event
that we were able to know about through Michaela. And if you guys don't know Michaela, she is going to be hosting a show. She is the president of the Atlanta, Georgia Blexit movement. Blexit, yes. And
blacks exiting the Democratic plantation.
And so she is going to be hosting a show for the Patriots Prayer. And so our shows, it's going to be expanding. So we want to have multiple influencers kind of under the banner of the Patriots Prayer, all spreading a message from different points of view, different backgrounds, and being able to speak to a different audience. We want to bring everybody together to help save this country. So we're trying to recruit as many people as we can, as many positive voices, strong voices, independent voices that actually can make a difference and stand strong and speak the truth. And Michaela is definitely one of those people. And yeah, I mean, it was a blessing to see that she was up on stage with President Trump. Yeah. Handed him a gift personally. She got some signed. I believe she got a signed hat from him. So very, very cool. It's actually really incredible to see, and to be part of that is an absolute blessing. So there were many parts of this trip that I'm extremely grateful for, and meeting Vivek, meeting Scott Pressler, and a couple other folks around there. Scott Pressler is an impressive person. I know you didn't get to talk to him much. He's registering a lot of voters in Pennsylvania. He's trying to make a change there, and he's not doing it just by himself. He's doing a lot of it by himself, but he is on the ground recruiting people every single day out there. It's something that I want to get more involved in Washington State, is registering voters, and actually
we have a campaign coming up. Yeah.
Yep, and actually making a difference, because there's a lot of people in Washington State that kind of just believe. I mean, I used to believe this as well, that Washington State is kind of a lost state, but there's so many patriots out there, red-blooded Americans, God-fearing patriots, that are just missing the opportunity to actually make a change, because they believe that the mail-in ballot voting system is corrupt, which it is. But I believe that we can win, and every vote matters, and we're going to have to have an army. And it's going to take everybody. You cannot be the one sitting idly by watching your country fall apart. You have to get involved. Yeah. You have to turn your vote into 5, 6 votes, because you get your mother to vote. You get your crazy uncle to register to vote. You get your neighbor to vote. all of a sudden that one vote that you were hesitant to even do because you thought you weren't going to make a difference just turned into 5, 6, 7, and then you encourage them to do the same thing, and all of a sudden we have now the numbers to compete against the fraud. It's going to be too big to rig. We have to start now. We have to start making the difference. We have to start telling people that you have to register to vote and get your neighbor to vote, get your mom to vote, get everybody you know to register to vote, because there's so many people, so many hunters, so many, I mean, just the NRA members, I think over 45% of the NRA members didn't even vote, yet they want to say that they're, championing gun rights. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the NRA.
But they are the NRA is one of the very first civil rights organizations. And most people don't see it that way. But the reason the NRA was created was back when the Jim Crow laws were around and all that. Black folks had to fight for their right to own guns. So the NRA was created, and they fought to make sure that everyone had equal right to the Second Amendment. Now, I don't know where politically they fall now, versus then, and I really don't follow them too close. But I know that's the beginning of it.
But they're gun owners, and they should be should be voting.
Yeah. If everybody should vote.
Yeah, if you're a gun owner, then I mean, in this day and age, you probably lean right. So register to vote and vote.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it's so complicated to some people, or why they make it seem like there's no way we can win, when obviously Trump wasn't planned to win. He wasn't supposed to win in 2016, but he did.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because we took him by surprise.
It was too big to rig then.
It was too big to rig, and it was he won by slim margins, but they didn't expect him to win. That threw a wrench in all of the globalists, World Economic Forum, warmongers, uniparty elite plan. That threw a wrench in it.
They had to make up for 4 years, and that's what you're seeing happen right now with Biden. He sped up the plan because they lost 4 years, and that's why they're running the way they're. And I'd be remiss to not mention the big breaking news that we broke a story yesterday. That I did the interview. I was tired. I was walking all day. My feet hurt. I was just done. I was dead on my feet. Marius to tell you. Get back to the hotel room. Jake Lang, J6er political prisoner, Jake Lang, at Jake Lang J6 on X, contacted us. Now, keep in mind, Jake is in prison, guys. He's in prison. Jake Lang had a cell phone. Now, I don't know where the cell phone came from.
It's not our job to not our job to speculate that particular part.
But this tells you how many things had to take place for this interview to take place. So I get back to the hotel room, and I'm doing the interview, and I think I'm doing it over the phone the way we did our previous interview with him. He's on video. So guys, go look. I only released a few clips because I hadn't had time to sit down and edit everything. But he has some pretty strong words for Colin Rugg, Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk, all these guys. Just so you know, the J6ers are going on a hunger. This is breaking news. Right? You didn't hear it nowhere else. We put it out first. The J6ers are going on a hunger strike starting tomorrow that they say they absolutely will not break until their demands are met for a second J6 inquiry, not ran like the previous J6 Select Committee. And he's pressuring the congressmen and the senators and everybody on the right to do something, stand up, quit being this, like, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for.
Spineless, cowardly.
Yeah. I mean, just, grow a pair and do something. We're all so angry at the right now because they're just, they just seem to posture.
The Republican Party.
Yeah, they posture, but they're not following through on nothing. No one's been locked up. No one's been charged with anything. They're not fighting hard enough for us. They're just making it appear that they have.
And with the way that the Democrats and the mainstream media have, I guess, been revealing J6 as an insurrection, right? They've been promoting it as an insurrection, that there's so many Republicans right now in Congress and in the Senate that are so scared to even touch the subject that they allow certain prisoners to sit in solitary confinement for over 800 days without being convicted of a crime.
1,248 days as of today, and he still hasn't been sentenced.
And that's Jake Lang. 1,248 days. He's been in prison. Over 800 days of solitary confinement, has not been convicted of a crime. That is a different kind of political prison. solitary confinement in itself is a different kind of hell. And so, yes, they are going to go on a hunger strike. You heard it here first. If you guys can, if anybody has the ability to clip this, send it out to Dan Bongino. Send it out to Colin Rugg. Get it to the big names that need to hear this.
Go grab the post. If you go grab the post, you'll see Jake Lang sitting on his prison bunk from inside of his cell doing the interview with me. You're going to hear it right from his mouth, and he mentions those names. So tag Colin, tag Dan Bongino, tag Charlie Kirk. And he just wants the word out. He wants to get the word out. Here's the thing. We used to do lives, and our lives would go pretty big. I have lives that I have, you go back and look, that have 70,000+ views. When we started doing the Holding Our Mentor thing, all of a sudden, our analytics became really crazy. So it's going to take people actually, in some cases, that know who we are without having the algorithm direct them to us, get the information that we're trying to get out. So we're depending on you guys, because listen, we could have 1 million followers or 10,000 real followers, real ones that will actually be in the fight and actually will pick up that gauntlet. I would rather have the 10,000 real ones than the 1 million
passive followers.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason that we're speaking out in this way is so we can help spread the word. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that want to do the best. I get this question a lot. What can I do to help? Well, there's a couple things you can do to help. You can build your own life to the point where you can influence people, or you can support influencers. But those are the two main things. Either you're going to do it yourself, or you're going to support the people that are doing it. So if you guys, if anybody has that ability to clip that message, get it out to Colin Rugg, or just send them the link itself, because Eddie did post it. I reposted it on my X page. It is a couple posts down about Jake Lang and the J6 prisoners going on a hunger strike. That is very important to get the word out, because it will become mainstream news shortly.
Way long after we already reported it. Guarantee you're going to see it on Fox. You're going to see it on all these. So you pick it up, take it, spread it, and you be the first person. You be before Fox. You be before Newsmax. Go get that clip and put it out everywhere. Put it out everywhere. We have to make that go viral, right? And you can be a part of that movement to get this word out. We're dependent on you.
And we thank you guys.
So who's in here with us right now? So Drizzy, how you doing, brother?
Naga, God bless.
Oh, really? There it is. Our NAGA friends, our NAGA compatriots at this point. Yeah. So listen, we've had a great time. We've represented at every turn. We've made music connections. We've made political connections. We've made media connections. Like I said, overall, the whole trip, this whole weekend has been a success. By far a success. So we're growing as a podcast and as a platform. We have 8 different shows. We're going to have a morning, noon, evening presence on our channel, consistent throughout the day. You'll be able to see everything on our channel from beginning to end. We'll have a perspective from the Jewish perspective, the Black perspective, the Native American perspective, you name it. And we're going to have all these personalities are already lined up. So when I get back home, when I get back to Nevada, we're going to sit down and we're going to work out a schedule. We're contacting everybody. We have an entire team now. We have editor that's going to be doing stuff with us. So we're going to have a lot more resources. We have an ex-federal agent that works with the Patriots Prayer podcast, Nate Kane, who was the Uranium One whistleblower, Alexander Levine, who is obviously our family helped reestablish Israel. We got a hell of a lineup, and it's getting bigger. And Michaela is the national leader, or not national, state leader of Brexit in Georgia. We guys, nobody outside of like a Daily Wire, and I'm gonna tout this because I'm proud of it. Nobody outside of people like that, and I would venture to say not even them, have the lineup of personalities and people with backgrounds that we do right now. So you guys are in, and those of you who are our day ones that have been with us and followed us all the way, from the beginning to where we are now, We appreciate it, guys. And you're going to be able to say that, hey, I used to follow them before it became what it is now. And we know who you are. You know, we can shout out a few people. You know, there's obviously Annette, Leslie, the whole McGroin Nation crew. You guys, we love you guys. Sean Farish was a big help during the Holding Our Mentor thing, was a great guy. Of course, our buddy Dan Nunn. And we spent the weekend out here with Chris's World and Patriot Kyle. Met DV7 too. I want to give a shout out to DV7. He's a Christian rapper out of the New York area. And I didn't know his music until after I met him last night at the bar. And then I played it and I was like, damn, like the guy's really good. Bryson Gray. Tell them the story. You tell them the story. You said you got here.
Oh, so, well, when we showed up, I was telling Eddie about a couple of, I guess, rappers that I like. One of them is Bryson Gray. He's a Christian rapper. He goes really hard on. He doesn't curse, and he raps about the Bible and what's in it, and he stands directly against the LGBTQ cult. And I was actually telling Eddie about him. And then he was like, oh, he sounds cool. You know, I'll look into him. And all of a sudden last night, Eddie comes back in the room and he shows me a picture. And he's like, I met Bryson Gray. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because I was out somewhere else. I was not with Eddie. And I kind of regret it now because I didn't get to meet Bryson Gray. It's unfortunate, but very, very cool that he was able to meet him and talk to him. They were doing their rap back and forth. I'm not much of a rapper myself.
Eddie can rap. Eddie can rap.
Eddie can rap.
Yeah. I was actually right over here. We're on the rooftop of the hotel right now on the floor that we're on, and there's like a whole area back over here that's kind of private. So we hung out. I hung out with the entire Blexit crew until like 2:30 in the morning, and it's usually a lot later than my old butt stays up. But it was just too fun to walk away from. You know, it was the Cartier boys, all these YouTuber personalities and internet personalities that you know and I know, and we all watch. And I'm sitting here on the rooftop hanging out with these guys, and it was just a chance in a lifetime, guys. It was an amazing amount of fun, and we didn't want it to end, so we stayed up till this morning.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was really good. We just wanted to kind of give you guys an update, and I mean, we're about to head back to the airport here soon, so we're going to fly home. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day, guys.
God bless you guys. Stay strong. We need to be strong for our children, so keep them in mind for the future because that's what they are. They are our future. So God bless you guys. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I love you. If you can, spread this around, get this message out, and hopefully Charlie Kirk and some of the people at Turning Point USA Action can kind of take our constructive criticisms to heart and maybe make some changes for the future events, and I guess continue the work of saving our nation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's where we all agree. We all have the same intention. We all love our country, and we want to put the truth out. It's only in the way that it was done that we differ, and it just takes constructive criticism like this to get everyone on the same page. It's a good thing. Yep. It's a good thing. We do it for each other because if we didn't care, we wouldn't say nothing, right? We would just bash it and leave it at that. But it was an amazing time. He had some amazing people. They to coordinate what they've coordinated. They had Alex Jones there today.
I didn't get to meet him either. I just barely missed him. You know
who it is that I missed, and I really wanted. So did Maurice. Valentina Gomez. Listen, guys, if I've ever asked you to do anything outside of that Jake Lane thing, that's more important than this. Share that out for sure. But Valentina Gomez right now is the most, would you say, based?
Yes. The
most based Republican candidate on any ticket anywhere. The lady is it's so much so that Matt Gaetz had to praise her. That's how based she is. I would love to interview her. We want to talk to her. We barely missed her yesterday. We saw pictures of her with everybody else and things as we were, as every time we go off and go somewhere, do something, we come back and we miss something. So tag her in this, guys. Tell her you want her on the podcast. Tell her that we want to talk to her. Tell her that you want to hear what she's got to say on the podcast.
Because you do. Trust me. You want to hear what she has to say. She's
She's something else.
She's a fiery one. So, and that's what we like having on the podcast. That's why we had Jerome Davison on the podcast. He's running for Congress in Arizona, and I hope he wins. He put out that extremely based.
You know they took it down, right?
They took it down.
Took it off his site too.
Wow.
Yeah, I wish I would have recorded it. I think we have it recorded.
I got a video of it.
Yeah, we.
But yeah, he made this extremely based ad about the KKK coming after him and why gun rights are important. Very cool.
Democrats dressed up like KKK.
Yeah. Very cool. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here, guys. We gotta head to the airport. God bless you. God bless you all. God bless America.
And as usual, the silent majority, you need to stop being silent and stand your ground. We'll see you guys next time on the Patriots Parade.
My people of this country and we're under attack. They banning us, they cancel us for speaking the facts. If you man enough, come stand with us, take USA back. And every time we pull up, all you're gonna see is American flags.